My name is Jessica Campbell, and I am a Senior Data Analyst at BJC HealthCare, and welcome to 3 Steps to Drive Progress Towards Actionable Metrics. Today I'd like to share with you the 3 best practices that I've found to help outline processes from beginning to end. So the question, what do we want, is all about identifying the future state and where you'd like to end up. In this step, you should be asking yourself clarifying questions because this is a very broad question. So it's okay to ask yourselves things like, who's going to be the end user of this tool? What does it absolutely have to do? What does it absolutely need to have included, and what would be nice to have? Those last 2 questions are really leading you into identifying your must-have and perfect state requirements. And it's important to acknowledge that those are 2 different things. A missing must-have in your final product will mean that it's not usable. It's not going to function the way you intended, or it won't be understandable. A perfect state requirement, though, is if you took away all of the limitations that we know impact our projects, things like financial limitations or resource constraints. If you didn't have any of those to deal with, what would your product look like? The what do we have step is about identifying where you are today. In this step, you really want to take time to identify your obstacles, the things that you have to overcome, and your opportunities, the things that have the potential to propel you forward. When you're identifying your obstacles, it's important to be realistic, but acknowledge that there's 2 kinds of obstacles, a hurdle and a wall. A hurdle is something that just takes a little extra work to get over, a little more force to overcome and make that jump, whereas a wall is something that will often require you to change direction. In an opportunity, when you're identifying those, you should use a similar approach. Think about the skills, resources, and technology that you have at your disposal and how those could potentially propel your project further than you originally planned. So how do we get it is the big question. This is the one everyone wants to answer. And this step is about getting from where you are today to where you want to be. And really, I found that the best way to do this is to think about the opportunities that you've identified as well as the obstacles, and then consider how you can pair them together. Do you have a resource with a skill set in your team that could help you overcome some of those obstacles? If you have walls that you're encountering, especially around data, you need to be taking creative approaches and thinking about new technologies that you could use. The most important piece of advice I'd like to give you here is to be flexible and always open to change. Healthcare is dynamic, we all know this, so it's important to be willing to listen to the needs of your organization and flex accordingly. These 3 steps have been really helpful for me, and I hope they're helpful for you also.